This is Justin Amazon for Monday, October 8th, 2018. And this is what happened today. I was looking at the chart today with yesterday next to it, and had a really nice bounce yesterday off of this 1863 something. What is it? 1863.84, sorry. And had a nice bounce there, ran up to about 1900, and we did that again this morning. First thing in the morning, we actually sold off slightly, put in a new low, came back in this really small inside candle after that big one, started to bounce with a Morningstar reversal, came back up into our 1880 price, continued on up, retested back into 1880, and then bounced. And this is looking really bullish until you get a couple small candles in here, especially this one and this one, indecisive candles. This one being at the same relative highs from this pivot. Not highs on the day, but this pivot here, which is similar to kind of the lows in here. I mean, this range is a good resistance. This range is a good resistance. We got back into that today and then rolled over. Looked like we were coming back for a second retest into 1880 and then bounced. Some people were getting in early on that candle, looking for it to move up, and it immediately broke down. Not only did it break down, then it retested and then sold off some more. So let's zoom in on just today so we can walk through this. So we ran up, Morningstar reversal. This actually would have worked for a nice little gain here. Entry here, stop here, being a little more aggressive. Entry here, stop here, being a little more conservative. That would have been about an R, maybe close to an R. Entry here with a stop here would have been probably 1.5 R instead. And then the indecisive candles here, that's kind of your first signal that, hey, you know, this isn't quite ready to go so bullish, which makes sense after 6 down days. The last 6 days have been sell-off days. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep. And it looked like we were bouncing off of a previous bounce point, but that would have meant rallying today. People were looking for a rally today, and it didn't give people what they were looking for. So we had the sell-off here, 5 candles, stair step among these, a breakdown, a retest. All these signals are, hey, we're going a little bit lower. This almost looks like a head and shoulders. If this is more of a flat shoulder, this is more of a taller shoulder. Broke down. Had another indecisive candle here that we continue to break down, took out the 1863.84 price, then took out the low of the day, then got us all the way down into our 1841.30. We haven't been down here in some time. Oops, too far. Which one? This one. Last time we were down here was August 6th. So it's been over 2 months since we were at this price. This price came in as a pivot from the close to the high on this indecisive candle. I think it was around this close. No, not quite. There was some reason that line was selected being right there. I'd have to go back to that day to see why. But anyway, it's been a little while since we've been here. So this is definitely looking like a distribution up here. And if we're back on the 5-minute, the opposite of distribution is accumulation. So we got some accumulation going on here, making relative lows until this puts in a new low. I mean, this got a low here, a higher low, a lower low, but still higher than the lowest low, and then this one takes out the low. There are a lot of bears getting into this, a lot of noobs getting into this, thinking this is going to just continue to run bearish, not realizing or not, recognizing the situation being that 1830 is about 200 points off of the high we were at, 203 points. Over 200 points below where we were just 5 days ago. So what is that? 2 divided by 2,000 is a nice round 10%. So 200 divided by 2,000 is a nice round 10%, but we were a little bit beyond. So we'll just call it 10%. A 10% move lower. We haven't bounced yet. but people who were looking for this to continue on lower after 10% were pretty quickly stopped out, whether they're swing traders, day traders. If anyone was looking for this to continue on bearish, they were likely losing pretty quickly. Maybe, we're up a little bit if they got in this candle, maybe. Well, I mean, the people who bought the low, obviously, they're completely trapped. But anyway, nice stair step with these 4 candles here, and then it moves back up above the 1841.30 price, stays above it for 25 minutes of stair step, taking out that high, and then was right up here into the previous resistance. Looks like it's breaking out, retests, and then goes sideways for a few more candles, retesting, and then continues up. Moved back up to 1863.84, and then all the way almost back up to 1880. Didn't quite get there. The highs of these 2 candles are 10 cents apart, and so somebody could have been reversing their trade, getting in below this candle with a stop up here, getting in below here with a stop up here, something like that, and then a retest. I'm sorry, a breakdown, retest. This one stair stepping for 25 minutes and then broke down a little bit more. But would have had to, again, time it right to get out at the right point when it's come down in here. We're not quite all the way down to the resistance, pre-market resistance we're talking about here. Didn't quite get down that far, and then we retested and just kind of chopping around in here. So we zoom back out. There we go. We can see we retested up to this high. We broke down, didn't even pause at the low from yesterday. Paused down here with some accumulation, but then it looked like it was breaking down, rallied, and then it's been starting to make this triangle with after hours data. And so it'll be really, really interesting to see how the market responds to a big move up or down from this consolidation. And if we go look at some of the options, so let's just say you were getting in bearish on a retest, this candle, the stop above the bullish candle. So that's retest on that candle. Let's say you got in at the closing price at 1010 and your stop was above the 855 price. So if you're looking at, what time did I just say? 1010. Okay. Go look at the puts. So we're on bearish. Look at 1010. And on this candle, the low, or the, let's say the closing price. Closing price was 1966. Let's just call it 20 for argument's sake. And then the bearish candle here, 955, there you go. The low there is 1773. So to set this up, I'd probably go with 20 by 1750, maybe. That's $250 risk. That would have worked out nicely, taking some profits here, somewhere here, or at this high, and then exited the rest somewhere after it got into the next line, probably around 40. So that would have been, what candle was it? 20 to 40, doubling it. That's pretty good. So that's that put. There were other opportunities to get into puts. What I thought was really interesting down here is the 1900 price that we got into. We got into something similar on Friday that bounced right off of the $12 price, and wondered if that's something that some people who had set up here were also the buyers again here, just waiting and being meticulous about waiting to get the right setup because they got it right up here, the indecisiveness, and then roll down. Looking bullish on this. After a stair step, it should continue lower. So let's say you got in on that candle. That's 1235. 1235. Where is it? There it goes. So right here, probably 6 by 5. That could have worked. Would have been a grind, but then that ended up working nicely. Probably would have taken some off at 850 and then some more just holding for a while. But I mean, there's no indication that it's going to actually pause right here. I thought it was going to actually get up into this line, and it didn't. But there was plenty of resistance below, so that's probably why didn't quite get there. And we're just not super bullish right now. We're taking on more bearishness. Taking 7 days in a row with that with that squeeze now is fired bearish. This could continue lower. It'd be great to have a couple bullish candles as a rest. Bigger picture, we got a double top here. Need to retest the neckline before it can go a lot further. But that's part of why these lines are still in here, because it could pull back some more. So we are going to continue to take a look and see how it's moving, what's going on, and I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.